Welcome to the final part of my version of Episode 9, which I'm still calling Balance Revealed, chiefly because I have yet to come up with a better title. This is the third part, so links to the first two parts will be in the description below. The previous part ended with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren visiting the resting place of his grandmother, Padme, and finally coming face to face with the ghost of Anakin Skywalker. "Only when I arrive here do you finally show yourself," Kylo remarked. "Do you have a better time in mind?" Anakin asked. Are you here to judge me? Tell me I'm on the wrong path," Kylo asked. "Why do you think I'm the one standing before you?" Anakin said. "I'm the worst person to judge. I would amend the path you are on so that you don't purge the light side within you. You will need to accept the light side in the same way you seek to accept the dark." "And I need to reject the dark side?" Kylo asked. "Not completely," Anakin said somberly. "The Jedi of old thought so, and as a result did not understand the dark side. By the time I understood it, I was consumed by it." A pause. "No matter how heroic you might be during a time of great conflict, the moment you start killing younglings, that is what history is going to remember you for. A Jedi Master by the name of Mace Windu knew this," Anakin continued. "For all of his faults, he knew that understanding the dark side was better than avoiding it completely. He learned to draw enough from the dark side to empower himself, and not enough of it to cause him to turn to evil. He balanced the force within himself to such a degree that he was able to defeat Darth Sidious himself. If you reject the light, Jedi like Windu will always be more powerful than you are," Anakin warned. A slight pause. "You've been manipulating me this entire time," Kylo snarled. "Influencing," Anakin said. "Snoke was manipulating you. I knew that I could not get you to embrace the light side completely in one go. Similarly, even you, as Supreme Leader, could not mold the First Order from a genocidal regime into a more merciful faction in one go. Once the fight with the Resistance and the Republic is over, you'll need your First Order to unite the galaxy, not Snoke's First Order. Otherwise, the Yuzeng Vong will overrun you all." On board a First Order Star Destroyer, Rey found herself in a cell. After some time meditating, she opened her eyes and found the ghost of Luke Skywalker standing before her. "I remember rescuing Leia from a cell just like this one," Luke commented. "Me, Han, and Chewie." "We've lost," Rey said softly. "Yes, we have," Luke responded. "But some losses can lead to salvation in the long term." "What salvation?" Rey cried. "Our galaxy is about to be invaded by a plague of invaders known as the Yuzeng Vong," Luke said. "If our galaxy is not prepared to fight them, we will be utterly destroyed. What needs to happen now is to end the current war as quickly as possible so that you're all ready to fight the next one." Back on Naboo, Kylo Ren asked, "How did Padme die?" "For the longest time, I thought I was the one who killed her," Anakin said somberly. "My main motive for joining Palpatine was to keep her from dying." Walking towards her resting place, he reached down and pulled up the snippet he gave her in Phantom Menace. "If only I had known that this object had been cursed by Palpatine, the galaxy could have been spared a whole lot of bloodshed." "You have a massive choice to make," Anakin said. "You can be remembered as the hero who united the galaxy, or the fool who exposed the galaxy to the worst bloodshed in history." At that point, Anakin vanished. Back in Rey's cell, Rey exclaimed, "I don't think I can speak with Kylo Ren again. Not after this," she added, holding up her robotic arm. "I don't think you'll have to, if you don't want to," Luke assured her. "Ahsoka and Ezra can do that for you. But as the Jedi who saved the entire Resistance on Crate, your words have a lot of sway amongst the Resistance. The choice is yours," Luke finished before fading away. Back on Naboo, Kylo Ren approached the now handcuffed King of Naboo and several of his advisors. Speaking on a comlink, he said, "Bring Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Kira and Rey Voss to the Theed Palace." He then lifted a finger and the cuffs came off. Sometime later, They were all sitting at a table. Kylo Ren revealed that the galaxy was facing an imminent threat from the using Vong. He even showed a small hologram of what the Vong were like and how devastating their presence would be. The king demanded to know why the First Order never divulged the existence of the Vong. General Pride explained that the Vong were planning to invade, regardless, but that they would have invaded a lot sooner had the galaxy been talking about them. By not talking about them, the First Order had hoped to buy time. But this window we hoped to keep open is rapidly closing, Pride concluded. The meeting went on with the Naboo asking how they can trust the First Order on the Vong, and being told that Naboo had more to lose if they fought the First Order than if they surrendered, regardless of whether the Vong were real. Eventually, Rey suggested that Naboo and the Resistance surrender and affirmed her belief that the Vong were real. Asked if she could sense them, Rey admitted that she could not feel any such presence, but that she knew dark times were ahead. Kylo Ren then dismissed the Jedi. Ahsoka asked Rey if she could surrender on behalf of the Resistance. Rey admitted that she couldn't and that the decision would be Poe Dameron's decision, and that if Naboo surrenders, the Resistance might also surrender. Eventually, the Jedi found out that the Naboo surrendered and signed a treaty with the First Order. When Rey relayed the news to the Resistance, Poe needed time to figure out the next moves. Finn suggested surrender, admitting that he's been growing uneasy about shooting at stormtroopers. We then cut to a scene in a Theed hallway, where Rey was instructing General Pride to contact Thrawn, and have him mobilize fleets in the unknown region, as well as prepare a fleet from the Naboo invasion to reinforce Thrawn. He is shocked to find Rey approaching him, stopped by a stormtrooper. After sending Pride away, Ren lets Rey pass the trooper. They enter a deserted room, one with a large portrait of Padme hanging. Kylo looked at the portrait for a few seconds. Rey asked Kylo if he had considered saving the Resistance back on the Supremacy. Kylo admitted that it crossed his mind, but that the ramifications for doing so were more complex. Either he stays with the First Order and gets labeled a traitor for harboring the enemy, or he fights the First Order, leading to a prolonged conflict in a galaxy vulnerable before the Vong. It made sense to take control of the First Order and finish off the Resistance, Kylo said. They weren't flying a flag of surrender, and finishing them off was supposed to lead to less bloodshed than fighting the much larger First Order. A First Order general came in, announcing that the Resistance had offered to surrender on Rhodia. Kylo reasoned that it wasn't far from Naboo, and so prepared an envoy to the planet. Meanwhile, a First Order fleet, led by Grand Admiral Thrawn, sighted the first wave of using Vong forces, and a battle broke out between the two factions. Back on Rhodia, Kylo Ren's shuttle approached one of the domes, which let him in. There were scores of the Republic troopers there to meet Kylo, and a much smaller band of stormtroopers. During the meeting that follows, involving Ren, Poe, Rey, and other relevant characters, we cut back to the First Order's engagement with the using Vong. We even see the Knights of Ren engage with Vong soldiers and even get overwhelmed by the new enemy. The movie ends with Kylo Ren leading his new alliance against a using Vong faction. So that's my summary. While there are many blanks that can be filled in, how does this story compare to what we got in Rise of Skywalker? Do you see it surpassing The Rise of Skywalker, or could it easily fall short of what we officially got? Where do you think the line, "I have a bad feeling about this," could fall? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.